Producers of the Dream Act.
The Dream Act says if you were Dream Act.
Thanks to everybody who's joining us. The DREAM Act is a part of the broader immigration that is a priority for the president. What it does is deal with the proportion of the population that's here illegally who came as young people who were brought by their parents as children, who have grown up in this country, have succeeded and want to go to college or to serve the country in the military. And what the DREAM Act does is provide those students with protection and a legal status that allows them to stay in the country, pursue their studies, and pursue service to the country. It's been around for many years. It's had bipartisan support for many years, and the reason we're talking about it now is because we have an opportunity for a vote on the DREAM Act in the House and in the Senate during this congressional lame duck session. So we have an opportunity to pass the DREAM Act. This is a really pivotal time because it provides protection to students who did not choose to be in this country illegally. It's sort of based on this notion that you don't punish children for the actions of their parents. These are students who have done everything we've asked them to do. They've been successful. They want to move forward. They want to continue their contributions, continue their studies, or serve this country. And the DREAM Act gives them the opportunity to do that. We're expecting action in the House and the Senate within the next several weeks. And so this is a really pivotal time to be having this conversation.
In this New York hotel took place the exchange between the young Peruvian woman, Lucia Yain, and the Republican presidential candidate, Mitt Romney, an exchange that even she is surprised she was able to carry through.
I extended my hand, I gave it to him, he handshaked it, I said my name is Lucy, 2 seconds pass by, I say I'm undocumented, and he takes it away.
And because of the dream she has, she dared to ask the question to Romney.
I have a question. What happened to the DREAM Act? I'm wondering how are you going to support it?
I've already said, across the country, I would be for the DREAM Act.
I'm wondering why are you supporting my dream?
Because if someone comes here illegally...
But I didn't come here illegally, and I have a 4.0 GPA.
That's wonderful.
And you know, and I contribute, so...
Lucia Yain arrived from Peru when she was brought here by her parents at 10 years of age. She is in the U.S. without a legal resident permit, and she's looking for the protection that the DREAM Act could give her. That's why she says she doesn't support any political party.
Obama has really failed on us and has promised stuff and not done anything. And I mean, I think Romney is pretty obvious. He's just against us and won't give anything to us.
This won't be the first meeting with the candidates. The Dreamers also plan to incorporate in their protest President Barack Obama to ask him especially about the support he offered to them at the beginning of his administration. In New York, Blanca Rosa Vilches, Univision.
With the first topic, it's an incredible story. The family of an 18-year-old claims after the failure of the DREAM Act, he became despondent over his undocumented status and then committed suicide. What can you tell us about this story?
It's a very sad story, and I wish more outlets were giving it a voice. So first of all, kudos to Fox News for giving us this opportunity to talk and address all of you that have been fighting for Joaquin Luna. That's his name. Okay. So Joaquin actually committed suicide right after Thanksgiving. It's a very sad story of one dreamer, as they call them, the undocumented children in the U.S. that have been here for many, many years, finish high school, some of them are top of their class, and see that as the end of the road. And that's how he felt.
They have one person, I was there when the DREAM Act failed. I was actually sitting in the Senate. And they have a guy that they put his picture on who graduated from NYU Dental School.
Yep.
Wow. And he has to leave the country.
That's not
NYU
atypical.
Dental School.
Exactly. So Joaquin was
we don't need a dentist?
Right, right. And qualified, we hear about science and technology and all these new careers of the future, and some of these kids are very qualified to do so. In the case of Joaquin, he came here when he was 6 months old. I mean, is it really his
you're
fault?
seeing from FoxNews.com Latino.
Exactly. He was a high school student in Mission, Texas. And what's interesting with Joaquin, while very unfortunate, our heart goes out to the family, is the fact that he has given it a bigger face and a bolder story to the story of the Dreamers. And sadly enough, he wanted to go to engineering school. He actually wrote it in the letter he left behind about his dreams. And right after he committed suicide, the school counselor came to the parents and gave them the acceptance letters he had gotten to Texas A&M and the University of Texas Pan American. But at the same time, let's say he would have received that and gotten excited. Now what? He's not documented. You can kind of sneak in, work the process, figure it out, get in debt one way or another, like work 3 jobs, as many of these kids do, to try to pay for it. But as you were just saying, then they finish, maybe he becomes a great engineer at the end of his, college education, and he was stuck.
Our guest now is Daniel Stein, president of the Federation for American Immigration Reform, here to talk to us about something known as the DREAM Act, actually the other side of this issue from the segment we did in recent days. The DREAM Act, what is it in your view?
There has been for some time now an effort by partisans on one side of this issue to thwart immigration enforcement by whatever means necessary, and this has been going on now for a couple of decades. And at the same time, they've been trying to hamstring every area of immigration enforcement. There's been this big push to promote amnesty, and it's been going on now aggressively since 2000. Having been unsuccessful in passing a mass amnesty bill, which they call comprehensive immigration reform, sponsors, now led by the Democratic leadership, are trying to come up with a tailored amnesty. And you can call it the so-called DREAM Act, but it's really an amnesty dressed up in its Sunday best. In this case, for a class of individuals who happen to fall within certain parameters, they feel that those parameters make the bill more appealing. But the reason why the DREAM Act is so controversial is that it's being overlaid against a template of no credibility in the executive for enforcement, and a strong sense among the American people that this is not the priority Congress ought to be pursuing in a lame duck session. So the DREAM Act essentially is like a big private bill. If your viewers remember Abscam, way back in the 1970s, it was about a bribery scandal involving getting a private bill through Congress. Private bills are kind of a legal form of political graft. And this is really a big private bill for a set of beneficiaries. In this case, people brought here under a certain age, who have now been here for a certain period of time, and who may be, the sponsors claim, children, but who may be now as old as 30 or 35, depending on the version. And through this dizzying array of complex versions of the bills, Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi in the waning days of the lame duck are trying to get through this very complex piece of legislation without even us seasoned Washington observers fully understanding precisely what's in the bill, what it entails, and what it means for downstream immigration numbers or policy. Nominally, what it's going to do is allow a person who checks into high school, or gets a GED equivalent, who meets certain age parameters and residency parameters, to get non-immigrant, or what is a temporary status. The non-immigrant is like a visitor visa kind of status, but which can be renewed indefinitely. So you can get this if you meet certain educational parameters, get a GED, if you enroll in college, and it's nominally designed to try to encourage people to go to school to get an education. You don't have to graduate from college, or you can enroll in the military. The idea is that you retain this conditional status. If you graduate, then you can get your green card, and then of course you can petition for relatives and start the chain migration phenomenon going on at a considerable cost and expense to American taxpayers. Now look, I want to state for the record,